Game started.
Yash 98. So I think it's my turn to play d4. Knight f6. So going in for a Nimzo-Indian, which I normally allow. You play knight f3 there if you want to avoid it. And then this line, e3 is the Rubinstein variation. And this is a normal response, so I think I just continue with development here. Get my pieces out and castle. So now Black has to decide if he wants to take my knight here. It's no longer pinned. And he chose not to. He chose instead to threaten this knight. But is that much of a threat? Can I play... I guess I can't play e4 here. Knight takes, bishop takes. And even with the queen supporting it, he could exchange first and then take back. But still, that's my plan. I want to play e4. And so I need another piece to help support that. So I could play it here. After the queen move, I can play it. It just, e4 grabs more space in the center and opens up a line for this bishop here. So, yeah, and that's a good counter to the c5 move. So if I play e4, he can take. So, optionally, let's see, if I play knight to, no, he can just take it if I play knight there. Okay, let's resolve the situation with this bishop. If he takes my knight, then I get a pawn reinforcing my d-pawn. The c-pawn reinforces the d-pawn, and now it's possible to play e4 once again. Okay, so now after I play e4, he's going to play e5. That's probably what he's setting up for. But on e5, I have d5, and that looks good to me. So let's just play that. If he takes, this pawn on d4 is still well defended. Yeah, so I get a passed pawn in the center, although my bishop is blocked up. But maybe I can put my bishop on this diagonal over here, pinning that knight. He's reinforced his own e-pawn, so that's well defended. My e-pawn is not yet under attack. So, yeah, I can play this move. Just better to have an active role for that bishop. So maybe I want to go ahead and trade it. I was going to have trouble finding useful work with this somewhat blocked up center and pawns on the light squares. So now, can I develop my knight or my bishop to some useful square? Or should I throw in a preliminary move like c5? I guess I don't see the need for c5, and I don't want to give up this square, although he can't get a piece there right away. but the square d4, if he could sink a knight there, that'd be quite good for him. So maybe a move like knight h4 to f5 is an idea. So knight on f5 is an excellent attacking piece. And queen to queen to g4 threatens mate immediately, and also bishop to h6. So that, and his bishop is somewhat out of play, and it's also blocked by the knight on this diagonal. So yeah, I kind of thought he had to do something about these threats. Yeah, so my plan was to play queen g4 anyway. It pins that pawn. A king can move. And I can play, I can follow up. I have to be sure the queen can't get chased away from that pin, but if he plays h5, I can move up to g5 or drop back to g3 and maintain that pin. And now knight or bishop to h6. So even if the king unpins, bishop h6 is a threat. Okay, so he goes after the queen. That's good actually. That's a good move because it attacks the pawn. And if I move my queen. So let's see, I could play a pawn here, attacking his queen. I could drop my queen back, but then he takes the pawn and then I have to move my queen again. That's kind of annoying. Okay, if I play knight check, king moves, and queen to h4, that might be a possible idea.
Check.
The king can come forward to g7, attacking my knight, so I have to play something like queen h4, defending the knight, attacking his knight, defending the pawn. But the queen is looking a bit overworked there. So queen h4, and his knight is defended, so then he gets a move. I can bring my bishop to g4, I guess. So actually, my knight is defended there. It's just my queen is under attack, so I need to move my queen somewhere and try and hold on to this pawn. So maybe, though, maybe just queen back to f3 is an idea. So I can follow up with g4, g5, or bishop g5, depending. Bishop g5 looks good here. Pinning that knight. And well, if I take here with check, he can grab my knight and I can take the rook. So there's a real threat there. When at least in exchange and get his king out on an odd square. But if he defends, he defends. So I wonder if I can. I don't know if I can play h5 here. Maybe g4 and then h5. And I should be thinking about the knight sacrifice on f7. Knight takes f7, king takes, and this is still defended enough. Even queen takes f7. Need to get more pieces in. So g4, maybe king up and rook to the h file. g4, king g2, rook h1. These are my moves, but what does he play? Hopefully he's a bit tied up and doesn't have good moves. Bishop to c8 is a move he should be considering just to try and activate that piece, which is not doing anything. And I can still play g4 because bishop takes, knight takes, knight takes, queen takes, I get a piece. It's hard to find a plan for his rooks. Knight, maybe the knight could go somewhere. Of course, the knight on... okay, he moved his rook to defend here. That gives the knight a retreat square, too. If he wants to play knight to... knight to... knight e8. So if he plays knight e8, I might want to play knight to g4 in response. So pawn on g4 would rule that out. So pawn to g4, knight to e8, what do I play there? Maybe just h6, h5, and then he plays f6. And I have to retreat my bishop. Still, I can't, I don't want to retreat my knight now and just allow him to trade it off. Well, we'll see if that was what his idea was. So king g2, rook h1, and h5 in some order. It's nice to get the king up just so the rooks can come over quickly. But you always have to look at the circumstances and see if there's enough time for that. You know, he may be, yeah, he did play there. He may be waiting for me to play h5 and hg because he can come over here. He can take back with the f-pawn and chase my queen away. Okay, so let's not rush ahead with h5 just yet. Or should I? Actually, if I play h5 and he plays f6, it is attempting to discourage the move f6 because it'll weaken the g-pawn. And on f6 I can still play my bishop back to e3 or d2. Look like reasonable squares. Maybe e3 a little more active. Okay, and I should probably speed up my tempo a bit, looking at the time situation. So if he pushes ahead with g4, I have knight to f5. But maybe that's... oh, but knight f5 comes with the check. Knight f5 check, pawn takes is an interesting idea too, because it does open up the g file, but then I'd have to play king over and rook here. Yeah, so he goes there first. So if I take here, how's he going to take? With the king or the pawn? I might just go ahead and take here while I can. I'm going to take with the pawn. If he takes with the king, then I get this good square on g5 for my knight. And then I can lift my king up and bring a rook over. He also gets rook to, he does get rook to h8, which he should probably play. Bishop here is not working. Knight has no good moves. The other rook doesn't have a lot to do either. If the queen leaves a c-pawn, I can just snag a pawn over there, but it's not what I'm looking for. Okay, black is going to have to speed up a little bit here. Okay, he does play that. So that allows him to, okay, so he can take my knight with the bishop, so he's just giving up the bishop, which wasn't doing a whole lot anyway. Do I have something better? Let's just keep building rather than trading off my pieces here. I don't particularly want the f-file to open up because the rook is still facing my queen there. But maybe queen to h3 and then knight here with check. Bishop takes and then queen comes in. Looks pretty good, and then pawn takes. Yeah, he's definitely moving too slowly here. Although it gets tough to find moves. This is
Black resigned.
Sometimes how you can win a game just by, yeah, he resigned there, just by increasing the pressure, and your opponent has difficulty finding moves. So anyway, I will upload this and do a post-mortem. See you guys later. Bye.